Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you guys how to make some delicious gorditas de chicharrón. In case you guys want to know how to make this super easy and delicious recipe, just stay tuned and I'll show you how. Alright guys, so first we're going to start by making our chicharrones. So here I have 4 pounds of pork fat. I'm just going to open it and we're going to wash it. Alright, so transfer your fat into a bowl with water and do this by the sink. So just rinse your fat. We're just going to rinse it until the water is clean. Alright, so once we rinse our fat with water, now we're just going to add 1 cup of apple cider vinegar. So just make sure that you mix it with your pork fat. And we're just going to let it sit for 15 minutes. Alright guys, so after 15 minutes, we're going to rinse our pork fat again. So just rinse it until the water is clean again. Alright, so just make sure that you rinse until the water comes out clean. Alright, so once we have our pork fat, now we are ready to cut. Alright, so now you're going to cut your pork fat depending on how big you want your chicharrones to be. So I'm just going to cut them into small strips. And then just cut it in half. Alrighty guys, so once we have our pork fat all nicely cut, now we are ready to make our chicharrones. Alright guys, so now we're going to grab a large pot. We're going to set it on medium-high heat. We're going to throw in our pork fat. We're going to add salt. Okay. And now we're going to cover our pork fat with water. So that was about 1 cup. So now we're just going to cook this until the water has dissolved. Make sure that you're moving it around so like that it doesn't stuck to your pot. Alright guys, so just make sure that you're moving them around and just keep an eye on them. Alright guys, so at 30 minutes, your pork fat should look something like this. So as you can see, it's starting to get golden. So now we're going to reduce the heat to medium-low. And we're going to continue cooking it with its own fat for about another 45 minutes. Alright guys, so after 45 minutes, our chicharrones are done. Just make sure that they are nice and hard before you remove them from the oil. So I'm just going to transfer them into a bowl with a paper towel. So just strain. And mine got a little bit extra crunchy just because I was on the phone and they were just cooking on their own. But let me tell you, they're still delicious. Alright guys, so for our salsa, we're going to need 3 Roma tomatoes, chile serrano, and a piece of garlic clove. So we're just going to roast everything together and then we can make our salsa. Alright guys, so once they're nice and roasted, now we're going to transfer into our blender. Alright, so we're going to throw everything in our blender. And we're just going to blend it until we have a smooth salsa. Alright, so once we have our salsa, now we are ready to put it together. Alright, so I'm going to grab a medium frying pan. I'm going to set it on medium-high heat, and I'm just going to add a little bit of oil. So we're just going to wait for that to heat up. Alright, so once our oil is hot, we're going to fry 1/4 of a small white onion. So we're going to fry our onion for a couple minutes. Alright, so after a couple minutes, we're going to add our salsa. Mix it. And to our blender cup, we're going to add about 1/2 cup of water. A little bit of salt. Don't add too much just because the chicharrones already have salt. So just mix it all together. Alright, so once your salsa begins to simmer, just let it simmer for a couple minutes before we throw in our chicharrones. Alright, so after a couple minutes, throw in your chicharrón. And just mix it with your salsa. So just cook that for a couple more minutes and then try it for salt and see if it needs any, and if it does, go ahead and add it. Alright, so once we have our chicharrones ready, we can set them to the side and begin to work on our gorditas. So we're going to grab 4 cups of corn masa flour, and my favorite one to use is the maseca. So we're going to add salt. I'm going to use 2 teaspoons. So of course it's going to be all to your liking. And just mix it. And we're only going to add water. So I have hot water, so make sure that you pour it slowly and just mix it until our masa is nice and soft. Alright, so I use about 3.5 cups, but of course that's all going to depend on the weather and just on where you stay at. So now, once our masa is nice and incorporated with the water, we're just going to knead for 5 minutes. Alright, so just make sure that you give your masa a good knead. Alright guys, so once you're done kneading, just roll your masa into one ball. And you're going to know that your masa is ready once you grab a small ball like that. You press it down and it doesn't crack at the ends. Alright, so we're going to grab a small ball of dough. We're going to roll it and form a small ball. And then begin to press with the palm of our hands. Just like that. So just press it down as you're making a tortilla. And once you have it to this size, we're going to use our 3 fingers and press down. Just so we can create a little dent. Once our masa looks like this, we're going to grab some cold refried beans. And I added some cheese. We're just going to press it, put them in the middle. So just press it down, and now we're going to close our masa. So just close it like that. Okay, so now roll it again, and we're going to press it down until we have our gordita. And as you're rotating, just make sure that you press with the palm of your hand. And at this point, you want to preheat your comal on medium heat. Alright, so once we have our gordita like this, you don't want it to be too thick or too thin. So now we are ready to cook it. Alright, so grab a napkin with a little bit of oil, put on your comal, and place your gordita on top. And now we're just going to cook it for about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. Okay, so once our gorditas are fully cooked, we're going to remove them from the comal. And you're going to know that the masa is fully cooked if you touch it and it feels a little hard. So now we're just going to grab a knife and we're going to cut them open. Make sure you do this while the gorditas are still hot. So just pass it through like that, as you can see. Looks so good. And now we're going to fill it up with our chicharrón. And let me tell you, that smells delicious. Alright guys, and now for the fun part, dressing our gorditas. Now for me, I'm going to keep them very simple. I'm just going to add some queso cotija. But of course you can add some lettuce, crema fresca, whatever, you know, whatever your choice are. But this is for me perfect, so now we are ready to enjoy. Alrighty guys, and now for the best part, the taste test. I am so ready. Let me tell you that these are one of my favorite gorditas, so I am ready. So enjoy. Seriously, it's super delicious. The chicharrón, the masa, everything is so good. And you know, if you like your chicharrones to be super soggy and soft, then just let it cook with your chile for a little bit longer. So for me, this is perfect. So flavorful. Seriously, the best. Alrighty guys, and there you have it on how to make some delicious gorditas de chicharrón. I hope you guys had enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and if you recreate this recipe, please don't forget to tag me on any of my social medias. And if you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button so you guys can be part of our family. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye.